Good day, everyone. I am Nicole Agustin, your host for today's podcast.
And I'm Habagat Jen Christopher, also your host for today's podcast.
So, kamusta kayo? Sana nasa maayos kayong pagkakaupo ngayon kasi we will talk about the historical education system of the Philippines. Ayun yung curriculum and philosophies under year 2000. And mahaba-haba to.
Yes. And dahil wala kaming alam ni Nicole about it, is may naimbitahan kaming 3 guests and isa doon is international guest na mag-explain at magbibigay sa atin ng broad knowledge about sa topic natin ngayon.
So, syempre, nagganda kami ng mga katanungan para mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba yung topic natin sa podcast ngayong araw na to.
So let's welcome our guests, Miss Claveria and Miss Labaclado. And we have also our international guest na nasa Thailand, which is nasa call ngayon, which is si Miss Crespo.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having us here today in your podcast. We are so grateful to be here.
And of course, we're so also excited to talk to you guys about our podcast topic for today.
And to our viewers out there, these two experts will explain the history of basic education, give us better understanding, and they can elaborate more about sa topic natin ngayon.
Yes, so first, let's start with early beginnings of our education system. So, Miss Crespo, can you explain it to us?
Okay, so there are two periods that we can call. First was the pre-colonial period. Before the arrival of the Spanish colonists, education in the Philippines was informal, unstructured, and community-based. Knowledge was passed down orally, focusing on practical skills like hunting, fishing, and farming.
And after that is Spanish era, right?
Yes, they introduced formal education primarily run by religious orders. The curriculum was focused on religion, with schools established for boys and girls in parochial setting. The Educational Decree of 1863 mandated the creation of public schools, making elementary education available to Filipino children.
So the Spaniards introduced the formal education.
Yes, that's right.
And after the Spanish era, what comes next?
After that is American and Commonwealth.
So, what did they do?
Well, the American established a public school system, promoting English as the medium instruction. The focus shifted to secular education, emphasizing the subjects like science and mathematics. This era introduced the Thomasites.
Oh, Thomasites?
Yes, they are American teachers who were instrumental in developing a new education system. The Americans influenced emphasizing the 3 R's, which is reading, writing, and arithmetic, alongside the vocational training.
Okay, continue.
Next, the Commonwealth period. The 1935 Constitution recognized that education is a key element to nation building. Education aimed for moral character, personal discipline, and civic consciousness.
So only in that period, dun lang nila nalaman na yung key element sa nation building is education.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How about after independence? What happened after that?
Good question. We have what they called post-independence developments.
Okay, can you please elaborate it?
First, of course, was the post-war reconstruction. After World War II, the focus was on rebuilding the educational infrastructure. The Magna Carta for Teachers, or RA 4670, was enacted to protect educators' rights.
Yes, and the next one is the 1970s educational reform. The Marcos regime introduced the bilingual educational policy, using both Filipino and English language as the medium of instruction. The educational system followed a 10-year basic education cycle, which is 6 years for elementary students and 4 years for high school students.
Oh, so this is the older generation did, like, before they changed it to K-12?
Yes, you're correct.
Oh, okay.
Now, let's discuss what we have today in our education system. The K-12 program, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, marked a significant shift by extending the basic education cycle to 12 years. This reform includes 1 year of kindergarten, 6 years of elementary school, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. The program aims to enhance the quality of education, making Filipino graduates more competitive globally.
Yeah, I remember it na maraming people or mga tao din ang oppose or disagree sa idea na to dahil din sa pera. Na hindi na nila pa kaya pa mag-afford ng 2 more years para sa high school.
Yes, that's right. But the K-12 curriculum focuses on critical thinking and technical skills and readiness for higher education or employment. It offers tracks like academics, technical vocational education, sports, and arts.
Let's just say another good and bad things about it.
Yes, you can say that. The education system in the Philippines has evolved through historical periods. In pre-colonial times, it was informal and vocational. It was led by the parents and tribe tutors. And then the next one is the Spanish colonization introduced the religious and elitist education expanded by the Educational Decree of 1863, which is mandated primary schools but remained class-led. The revolutionary government under Aguinaldo emphasized education with institutions like the Burgos Institute and compulsory in elementary education under the Malolos Constitution.
Yes, that's right. And during American colonization, education became secular and civic-oriented, with English as the medium of instruction. The 1901 Act No. 74 established a centralized public school system.
Spanish and American colonization left lasting influences on education and linguistic landscape. Spanish rule emphasized that local languages for conversion to Christianity, reserving Spanish for the elite. American rule promoted English, shaping the country's historical consciousness.
Oh, so indeed, a lot happened for our education system to be where we are right now.
That is true. Now, let's dive what happened per year.
Wow, okay. Let's do that.
First is the year 1902. The Philippine Commission established a high school system supported by provincial governments and created special institutions such as School for Arts and Trades, agricultural schools, and commerce marine institutes. I think this is a lot, guys. Can you help?
Yeah, sure. The next one is the 1908, the Philippine Legislature passed the Act number 1870 and it was founding in the University of the Philippines.
1916, the Reorganization Act introduced Filipinization, appointing Filipino leaders to all department secretaries except for the Secretary of Public Instruction.
Oh, those are indeed so true. Like, it's a lot. So I hope you guys stay with us and don't go anywhere.
Yes, thank you for listening and let's continue to 1942. Japanese educational policies were formalized in order number 2. The Japanese-sponsored republic established the Ministry of Education, focusing on teaching Tagalog, Philippine history, and character education in instill the work ethics and dignity in labor.
By the year 1945, the Department of Instruction merged into the Department of Public Instruction.
Remember guys, what we have right now is because of this. Like in 1947, Executive number 94 renamed the Department of Instruction to the Department of Education, supervising the both public and private schools.
In 1972, by Proclamation 1081, the department was constructed as the Department of Education and Culture. And in 1978, it became the Ministry of Education and Culture under the Presidential Decree number 1397, establishing 13 regional officers and major organizational changes.
In 1982, the Education Act created the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sports. later renamed the Department of Education, Culture and Sports or DECS in 1987 by Executive Order Number 117.
For the last two, in year 1994, the Congressional Commission on Education, which is the EDCOM, led to RA 7722 and RA 7796, creating the Commission on Higher Education, which is the CHED. It is for higher education and for the technical education, and Skills Development Authority, which is the DASDAP, for technical and vocational education, initiating the trifocal education system and refocusing on TECS on basic education.
And the last one,
Lastly, in year 2001, Republic Act 9155, Governance of Basic Education Act, renamed DECS to the Department of Education or also known as DepEd, enhancing school head leadership, school-based management, and emphasizing transparency. The act aimed to provide young Filipinos with the skills and values to be self-reliant, productive, and patriotic citizens.
yeah, that's a lot. But we can see how far our education become.
Yeah, that's also right. Like, I agree. Like, if it's not because of our past, we may not have what we have right now. Kaya, it is important, like, it is essential to remember, not just remember, but to study, to still study our past.
Yes, and studying our history is we can make more revision sa our new laws and also to improve our education system.
Yeah, so, but any last words to our viewers before we end our episode for today?
Thank you so much for inviting us here and letting us share our knowledge. I know it's a lot, but we appreciate you guys for sticking with us until the very end, and we hope you guys learn new things from us.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for everyone, and we are so grateful to share this knowledge with you. And we are so grateful that we are given a chance to speak in the podcast.
Bye-bye. Thank you.